Hi guys, it's Alice from Nerd Chic Bookworm here, and today I am jumping on the BookTube bandwagon and I am doing a video all about my 5-star book review predictions. So these are basically 5 books that I have sort of in my very near future vision of reading, and I think that they are going to be 5 stars. They are books that I am interested in. They are books that I have heard really good things about on other booktuber channels, and yeah, I just wanted to sort of get involved in this, and I thought what better time than right this second. So I've got 3 fiction and 2 non-fiction books, so let's just get into the books. This first one is The President is Missing by Bill Clinton and James Patterson, and as you can see I have already started this. I started this 3 days ago and I am about 2/3 of the way through already. It's quite a long book. It's 513 pages I think, but it is so fast paced that I have, like I said, I've read it in 3 days. That far through already, and I have not been able to stop reading it. It is absolutely amazing. This is basically a political thriller about a imminent terrorist attack on the USA. It's a cyber attack, and the president gets a sort of a code word delivered to him, I suppose, and he has to sort of go off the grid and pretty much by himself figure out who is behind this cyber attack and try and stop it before mass destruction occurs. This book is absolutely incredible. It is fast paced, it is thrilling, it is breathtaking, it is heart beatingly fast and wonderful. It's very political, which I didn't think I would enjoy as much as I am, because I am someone who really knows nothing about politics, but it's definitely needed in the book to make it as good as it is, because obviously it is a political thriller, and obviously Bill Clinton being a former president of the USA, he has really added sort of real experience and real things that happen in the political world, and you can really see that. Like I said, it's fast paced, it's brilliant. I haven't been able to stop reading it. As soon as I've finished doing this video, I'm going to carry on reading it. I'm wanting to get it finished tonight. If I don't get it finished tonight, I'll definitely get it finished by tomorrow. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this book, and I really do think it's going to be a 5-star read. So I am looking forward to finishing that. This next one is a local author to me, and that's M.W. Craven, and this is Black Summer. This is his 2nd book in a trilogy, I believe, the Washington Poe trilogy, and that is, Washington Poe is a Cumbrian detective who goes and solves all these crimes in rural Cumbria, and this book is following him as he, yes, so a man that he put away for killing his daughter. The body was never found of this man's daughter, but he got put away because of the testimony of Washington Poe. And then sort of through the story, this woman comes into the local police station and claims that she is the murdered daughter, and it's sort of following that and figuring out who she is, if she's telling the truth, what happened to her, why people thought she had been murdered, and sort of following that story. I read his first Washington Poe book, which was this one, The Puppet Show, a couple of years ago, and absolutely loved it. That was a 5-star read as well. I love the pace of the books. I love the police procedural aspect of it. It is very focused on the, not so much the crime, but sort of how the detectives figure out the crime, which is my best kind of sort of mystery crime books. I prefer looking at the police side of it rather than the sort of criminal side of it. And it's local to me. It's set in Cumbria. M.W. Craven actually lives where I live, so it's really good to read a book that is set around Cumbria, and he speaks about places where I've either been or visited or know about, and it's just really, really good. And like I said, I love his writing, and I really do think this is going to be a 5-star. If it's anything like The Puppet Show, then this will definitely be a 5-star read as well. The third and last non-fiction book that I've got has sort of been doing the booktube rounds lately, and this is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. And this was the winner of the Booker Prize 2019 along with Margaret Atwood's The Testaments. And I have heard so many things about this book and so many amazing things about this book. I had to pick it up as soon as it came out in paperback. I just had to pick it up. I have heard wonderful things about it from a lot of booktubers who I trust and who their book recommendations I have read a lot of and enjoyed as much as they have. So they are booktubers that I tend to go to when I'm looking for books. And this is basically following 12 different women through Britain, but I think they also have stories in the Caribbean and Africa as well. And it's about sort of Afro-American women sort of looking at these girls and women and these characters who are all intertwined in one way or another. It's hard to explain. It's just all, I think each chapter is 3 different women, but all of the women in the whole of the chapters are somehow entwined with each other as well. And I think it's just kind of looking at being a black woman in Britain and sort of race and stuff like that. And I've heard really, really good things about it, and I just want to get cracking with it, really. It looks good. It like I said, I've heard really good things about it. A lot of booktubers have given it 5 stars already, and if it won the Booker Prize, I think it's going to be pretty damn good. So I'm really looking forward to getting to that one, hopefully very soon. The next 2 that I've got are non-fiction books, and the first one that I'm going to talk to you about is All That Remains by Sue Black. Sue Black is a forensic anthropologist, and I believe she works in Dundee. I think it's Dundee. I've seen her on a TV programme called History Cold Case, and absolutely love that programme. And she is basically a forensic anthropologist and a professor of anatomy, and she looks at bones and remains, and she goes to burial sites, and she investigates sort of people who have been killed in wars and sort of bad things, as well as just sort of natural deaths. And she looks at things from, you know, the very distant past and also sort of present day. And this is basically just following her and her job and what she does. And I've heard that parts of it she talks about, like, she said that sort of by doing certain tests on bones of dead people, you can find out, you know, what the diet was like, where they came from, sort of really fascinating things. And I love stuff like that. I love archaeology, I love anthropology, I love forensic science, I love criminology, so psychology as well. So anything like that I am really fascinated by. And I saw this and it's sort of been on my radar for quite a while, and I bit the bullet and I bought it, and I've started watching History of Cold Case again, which has kind of fueled the intensity of wanting to read it as well. So yeah, I think this is going to be the next non-fiction book that I read. I'm really looking forward to this. And I just love the way that she writes as well. So yeah, I definitely think this is going to be a 5-star read. And if it is, I know she's got a new book coming out in September. So if this is a 5-star read, I'll definitely be buying that one as well. The last book, but by no means the least, this is The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper by Hallie Rumenhold. This is a book, again, that I have seen all over BookTube, mainly last year. I think it came out last year or late 2018. I think. Oh no, 2019. So it was last year that I saw it. And I bought this when it came out in paperback, and it's basically following the 5 women who have been murdered by Jack the Ripper. And this is focusing not on their deaths and not on their murders, but their lives before they were killed and sort of what they did. A lot of people, when it comes to Jack the Ripper case, a lot of people think that there were just 5 prostitutes, and this puts a whole different take on them. They weren't just prostitutes. They, you know, one of them ran a coffee house, one of them lived on a country estate, one of them escaped people traffickers. So it's kind of putting the stories back to the women rather than just being victim number 1, victim number 2, victim number 3, victim number 4, victim number 5. It's giving them a name and a story and a voice again. And I saw this on, I believe this was Lauren from Lauren and the Books, best book of 2019, I believe, or it was definitely in there. And I've seen this on a lot of booktubers videos of last year. And, you know, I love things like this. I love history. I stopped doing history when I was in year 9 at school. So that would be about 13, 14. I chose to do geography instead. So I kind of stopped doing history. And I never really went back to it, but it's always fascinated me. And especially murderers of historical periods, I've always found fascinating. And then when I saw this book come up on booktubers videos last year, I thought that sounds really amazing. So yeah, this is another one that I can't wait to get to. Probably after All That Remains, this is going to be the next non-fiction book that I read. But yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I've heard that she just gives a voice back to the victims, and she doesn't focus on Jack the Ripper, because every time you hear of the Jack the Ripper cases, it's all about the criminal and it's not about the victims. And I think a lot of books focusing on criminals, they don't think about the victims and they don't think who the victims were, and they always talk about the serial killers and sort of their life, and they never talk about the people who they killed. And you've got to remember that the people that they killed were wives, mothers, daughters, sisters, aunties, nieces. You know, they were people and they had a life and they had a story to tell. And I think that's a really important thing that not many authors have done. And I really enjoy sort of knowing more about them, kind of seeing it from the different side of the coin. not hearing it from Jack the Ripper's perspective, but hearing it from the victim's perspective and kind of giving them a voice again. And I think that's really good. So yeah, like I said, After All That Remains, I think this is going to be the next non-fiction book that I read. So yeah, they're the 5 books that I have chosen to talk about. I am so excited to get to every single one of them. Once I've read them all, I'll come back and I will do a video and let you all know if my predictions were right, and if I did give them 5 stars, and if I didn't give them 5 stars, why I didn't give them 5 stars. So I'll kind of do sort of an update video in, I don't know, whenever I finish them. So yeah, hope you guys are all doing well and you're able to get out a little bit more now and sort of, you know, just, it's not fun at the moment being on lockdown and this, but I do hope that you're taking care and you're looking after yourselves, and I will see you next week with a brand new video. Bye guys.